Bowles, Montana, 2015. At random, the sound of a gun being fired skimmed along the deep quiet. It was a good, solid, human sound. As long as the guns kept going off, there was hope. Everything was in focus, especially the blood. The whole town was still and silent except for the rumble of a plow and the occasional, distant scream. It was July. The snow equipment should have been garaged, but the plow edged down the street in a slow, steady pulse. The zombies hadn't figured out how to get out of the way of it, yet. Eric Naylor lay on the edge of the road like he was dead, his face tucked into the pavement and his knuckles white around the grip of a machete. He looked that way every Friday night, except there was a pool cue that he waved around. He clearly had a plan in mind as Bob and the plow moved closer. Any other day, it would have been a slice of heaven. Today, it was a pit of hell. Even when the toilet paper factory had nearly blown the entire town off the map 2 decades ago, there hadn't been this much blood. The plow edged closer. An arm hung from its blade. Other body parts spewed all around. Human scraps. Had things gone differently, the whole town wouldn't be under siege from zombies. Last week, they'd been my friends and family. This week, they were just plain monsters. But nothing was right and the big truck was getting closer. The blade of the plow was inching closer to Bob's heels. Off to the south, a double tap of gunfire sound. Handgun, not rifle. Hell, I've been down here in the drainage for days and they hadn't figured it out. Bob got out ahead of the plow. He kept his head up, literally. Thing hung off his hand like some twisted mistletoe ball at the holidays, except it was his head, in full working order, his eyes going right and left as if he had stepped up to the line and was about to throw a strike. Bob had single-handedly put Bowles on the map in the world arena of bowling, just like he put bowling back on the map of syndicated sports. But just last week, the entire town had attended his funeral. I'm betting that this hell had something to do with the incurable disease Bob had died from in the first place. Behind me, I heard a low clang. It was a warning. Someone or something was coming towards me. There were only 4 of us who knew about these underground passages, so it could have been Nathan, Roy, or Frank. Who knew that the tunnels that led into the sewer and the secret emergency shelter we built so long ago would be needed like this? Then again, I don't think it was Frank making that noise. He'd been walking across the street a few minutes ago, and he didn't look too good. Not the Frank I knew anyway. Greener. Like a zombie. Up until now, nobody else needed to know about these secret tunnels. But things had changed, and as I peered into the shadows behind me, I couldn't help but think that this place was on a need to know. Question was, who was left that would need to know? A different kind of scrape sounded. Not the plow, not Bob, not Eric. Something was definitely behind me and closing in fast.